I ran Evermore one time. I ran Terranigma one time in a race against Zatox.
You're live.
Oh, okay.
So we're live, or we're not? So we're live?
I guess we're live.
Oh, we're live. We're indeed live. Okay. Hey guys, we're indeed live. Yo guys,
Hey
what's
everyone.
up? My name is Zheal, and I'm racing today with my good friend Solarcell.
Hello everyone, I'm Solarcell007. We've
This
been
wonderful
practicing
game.
for quite a while for this race. We hope we give you a good run of it. You want to count us down, Zheal?
Yeah. So we're ready. If everyone is ready, we start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So, Illusion of Gaia. Game came out on Super Nintendo 1994, I think. At least in Europe and North America. It's about a small boy called Will. A year ago he went to the Tower of Babel with his father, which is an explorer. And apparently he was saved by a mysterious force. He actually doesn't remember though how he went out of the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, so for this speed run, the main course of movement is sprinting through double tapping a direction, a little different from what you're used to for normal RPG speed runs. And at first it might seem like a wear and tear on your thumb, but once you go through a few runs, it's not too bad. Alright, the table was nice to me.
So, and then one of the hard things about a speedrun is you can match text boxes frame perfectly. Like, most of the text boxes in the game are displayed on one single frame and you can skip them on the same frame. So, skipping text boxes is a very important part of the run and can save a lot of time. You will see there are some text boxes though who are still very slow. Like, I really don't know what they thought about making such a big difference on text boxes. The Japanese version is not at all like that. There are only small text boxes in Japanese. That's why we actually run the North American version.
So assumedly we should be pretty close in the race, but there are a few RNG aspects that might separate us. And we can talk about those when we get to them. Mainly boss fights.
Also, it's a bit unfortunate. I have to listen to my capture, so my sound is a bit delayed. So I hope I don't mess up too many timing stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little not used to having headphones on.
Aren't you wearing headphones all the time?
No. Just listening to the TV. Ah. Now I know it looks like I started before Zheal, but it's probably just a delay in the Discord chat.
And thanks for the good luck, guys. So we just learned Lola's melody. There is an ancient tribe called the Ituri village tribe, and Lola is the grandmother of Will here, our protagonist. And she has magical songs for us. At least that special one, Lola's melody. We will use it throughout the run a few times.
A lot of places, and sometimes accidentally when we're not trying to, if we're mashing too fast.
So what happens right now is we were called by King Edward to the castle because he wants a special ring from our father. But we don't have it. But we still go there to see what he wants from us. And we meet Kara, the very nice princess of the castle. So now we have the audience with King Edward, The problem is that we don't have the ring, and he's not very amused about that, so he just sends us into prison and orders to search for the ring in South Cape.
Really, the first kind of spot in the speedrun where you learn that you have to interact with certain objects or things to progress the story, and so that's where some of the time saves between runners comes in. Is how quickly you can maneuver in between these things. So we're just waiting for some bread, some food to get us going. And shortly we'll hear a mysterious voice from the flute and hear my favorite line from the game.
Which is?
You were a cute child, but now you've grown up. You're not cute anymore.
Oh, because you can't relate, right?
Wow. That's early in the stream. Alright, Zheal, I wish you luck in the prison.
I will be fine, right? All the Oli cycles. So you have to be a bit slow with us, because dungeons are pretty hard in this game, so we both probably want to concentrate a bit, since this is a race, everyone want to win. For glory. And that was a timing thing.
Oh, messed that up. Get the early cycle. I did not. Alright, so in this room with the arrows, you're really a prisoner to RNG. So those arrows can fall at different times, and if you have bad luck, you're gonna have to go around the other way. So this is the first time we have to play Lola's Melody. And we have some little mini game where we have to strike a switch on the right side of the screen. At the same time, Lily, the little, I don't know what you call that, dandelion, hits one on the left side of the screen. So in this dark space, this is where we see Gaia for the first time, but don't interact with him or her.
At least in the speedrun.
Yeah, at least in this speedrun. But we see Friedan, which is our first transformation we have, the Dark Knight.
Yeah, since Will is a descendant of the Dark Knights, an ancient force made by the light of a comet, he can transform into his powerful form, the Dark Knight. Oh, nice. Messed that up.
So you'll see us running through enemies without taking damage. It's called iframe dashing. It's done by striking and then continuing to sprint through them. We'll use that through a lot of the run.
So at the
along with
end,
a few other tricks.
at the end of the dungeon, or after a boss, we always return to our normal form. But we can still switch back whenever we want. And sometimes we even have to learn new abilities.
So now we're going to rescue Kara. But we can't just leave after we escape, because Kara's a hungry girl. And as we can see in chat, some of you already know, we need a certain piece of food.
You have found a large, yummy roast leg of yak. Finally. So, and now everything is set, so we can escape. Yak.
Can't help but watch the stream chat. And every so often we're mashing so fast that even when you shouldn't be able to use an item, it still tries to get you to use it in between text boxes, which is the most aggravating thing in this speedrun.
So, and now we're on the way, like, the blue-haired girl we just met is Lily. She's also one of the Eatery tribe who saved us. And now, since the soldiers, the king's army is after us, she brings us to her hometown, Eatery. But it's a hidden village. It's a village of people who can turn into flowers. At least Lily can. A dandelion puff.
How are you guys watching the left side of the stream? My game looks so faded compared to Zheal's. Now, because we're all about saving the frames, something interesting about the power-ups that Will gets, as soon as you touch that statue when there's a power-up, you instantly learn the ability. So we start charging this power-up called the Psycho Dash to bounce off the top wall to get us just a tiny bit closer to the door when we leave.
Yeah, because the game is that optimized. You could not PB without that.
Sarcasm is strong.
You found Incan statue A. So we have to find both Incan statues because there is a legend you learn from the Elder in Eatery Village normally that the first mystic statue, like we have to find all the 6 mystic statues scattered around the world to like we don't even know why at this point. We just do it because our father, which speaks to us through the flute. Like actually, Will's weapon we have is a flute. Like the purple thing, the purple rod we have. And he got the flute from the Tower of Babel, a mysterious place. And his father just started speaking through the flute to Will and told him to collect all the 6 mystic statues because, well, that's important apparently.
Good luck on Moon Tribe, Zheal.
You too. I died.
Oh my God.
Because I cannot walk past.
That was a very bad on my end too. I ended up getting a 2 second, no 1 second actually. It won't be too different, don't worry.
Well.
Yeah, the start was pretty bad. It must have been pretty bad for both of us. That first one, if it starts slithering to the left, you lose the ability to do the Psycho Dash and knock it into the other worms to do bonus damage. It's possible to kill the very first left 3 worms with 1 Psycho Dash.
Yeah, I just messed up. Yeah, I had a bad first cycle also. But I messed up the right side. Like, I did not properly line up with the statue and just bumped against the statue like 3 times without hitting anything.
It's alright, I'll spend 4 hours trying to do the ramp glitch. So if you have low HP like I do, I only have 4 HP right now. The boss in here, you wouldn't be able to survive any hits under max HP. So the hope is that out of the 2 giant head enemies that are going to be in the dungeon, you get an HP orb from them. So this is the first sequence break of the game. You're not supposed to be able to damage this. You usually need Freedan. But because we do a sprinting attack with Will, you can actually damage that head 1 hit at a time. Now hopefully I get an HP orb here. Ooh. I might be in trouble. We'll see. So, I won't be taking any more damage before the boss. That last little slime can spawn a little early and do some extra damage to you. So, because we had that sequence break, we never got the wind melody. And so, normally in a casual playthrough, you would need the wind melody to illuminate the tile that I'm standing on right now. But because that tile never changes, we can just stand on it and continue through the dungeon. So it's not the best thing in ruins for me.
Yeah, mine was not so bad.
Now, ideally, we're not going to take any damage from cast off with the boss of this dungeon. It is possible
Ideally.
for him to get you kind of locked into a certain corner.
Yeah, the problem is Castorth is not a very hard boss, but he deals exactly 5 damage. No, he deals 7 damage, right? So you only survive a hit if you have full HP.
That was a very chicken first round for me.
I think I saved some time.
Yeah, you did. Jeez. You got one cycle, Zheal?
Yeah.
Congrats. So you said it's 18 of 20 perfect frame inputs for that?
And I only saved not even a second to my PB. That's a bit sad. It's a mystic statue, our first one, finally. Took long enough. The first one actually takes the longest, I think. With 20 minutes. So here on the crow's nest, there is actually a pixel and frame perfect trick. If you talk to him on a certain pixel and press down on a certain frame after you're speaking to him, you can drop to the floor right after the first two text boxes, and you can drop to the floor while the cutscene starts in the background. Saves about 4 seconds, I think, because you can.
Go for it.
Yeah, because you can drop while the ship moves out of the cave.
Seventeen's not too bad, high spirits. Alright, coming up is what's gonna be another chance for us to separate just based off RNG. After we get flung off this ship, there's a few scenes where we have to rely on some fish to govern our run.
My first fish was pretty okay, actually. Not too bad.
There's nothing but sadness on my screen right now.
Oh, you have a very bad one. That's so sad. I feel with you.
Let's see what the other ones do for us. So, you can either, in a few cutscenes, fill your health up by eating fish, or as a faster strat, use one of the herbs, or the herb we have, to heal yourself, and then you only need to eat 4 fish. And that's what we're going to be doing.
So now we took a herb from Incan Ruins, and you have to fill up your HP now with fish completely, and then talk to Kara, and the herb helps us. It skips a ton of fish actually, and I have very bad ones. My find was pretty bad.
Me too. Where's fish? Come on, fish!
And one more fish, but Kara's fish was nice. After Kara is in position, you have to hit another fish, and that's the last one. Yes, this is any person.
Alright, we're both going to try shark fin skip.
And now Will and Kara fall in love.
Aw. Thanks, Hulk. Nah, I missed it. And Zheal got it. We're going Zheal. You're getting all the tricks in this round.
Yeah, we're not even sure. Like, I think no one ever timed it. It looks like it doesn't even save time. It just is a indicator that you mash pretty fast. Blibim. So, and now we're on the way to Freya, or Frija, if you want to. We were separated from our friends, of course, and they're all here, luckily, in Freya. But one of our friends, Lance, he lost his memory. We don't see anything of that in the run, unfortunately, because those are not triggers. Only certain things are triggers to unlock the next dungeon, and that's the only thing we actually do. We unlock the next dungeon and then we go there.
We're gonna just skate by the theme the game's trying to introduce here. No need to talk about that stuff.
You mean the slaves, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dark theme the game has sometimes. Like this city looks all fun and flowers and happy, but in the back alley there is slave trading. There is like the game never says slaves, actually. They only say labor workers or like laborers all the time. And 3 special laborers, they were abducted to the mines, and we have to save them now. Sam Remulus, I think, and something with I. And they're our friends, because we talked one time to them, so they're very important. Funnily, the fact that Lance, our friend, lost his memory is not even important. We're just here to save the slaves. It just happens, luckily, coincidentally, that the one slave we save at the end of the mine also teaches us a melody that cures the lost memory.
I was wondering who was going to start humming the songs first. Bottom. So you'll see us go into our menu anytime we kill an enemy that opens the barrier. It cancels the animation and the detection hitbox.
It's called orb glitching, I think. And yeah, normally you have to wait until these orbs hit the barricade they're blocking. Or like they're destroying. But by entering a menu and leaving it again, we can basically not skip the animation, but we can make the barricade go away immediately. So we don't have to wait. The Dark Friar is a dark power that only the Dark Knight, Freedom, can use. Pretty dark.
Now I'm a little low on HP, so I'm going to use the Dark Friar to get me out of this safely, since we're in a marathon. Zheal has a little more HP, so he might not be so cautious.
Well, we have to die right after, so I'm never cautious here.
Well, I messed it up anyway.
So now we rescued the slave here and got the elevator key. And now that is actually the first death wall we do in the run, right?
Yeah.
So you cannot really die. Well, what was that? You cannot really die in this game. You will be always sent back to the start of the dungeon unless you have 100 of those silver reddish gems looted. In that case, you have a 1. Like on the top of the screen, you see a heart and a 0. And if you have 100 gems, which are displayed on the right side, you get a 1 on that heart thing, which is basically 1 dark power. And if you have a dark power and you die, you don't get sent back to the start of the dungeon, you get sent back at the start of the screen. With all enemies still dead. Like normally all enemies you did not... like there is another thing I should explain beforehand, I think. The way... the way to get strong in this game is by killing enemies. Like every time you completely eradicate a screen or like a segment of a dungeon, you get a power up. What you get is fixed, and you can only get it once. But this game is nice, and actually every power up you missed, you will be given after a boss dies. So even if we don't collect all power ups, and well, we actually collect none. Ouch. That was pretty dangerous for me. We catch up on bosses.
So what Zheal was saying about death abusing is true. There is one specific section in the game where we don't start back at the beginning of the dungeon. It's towards the end of the game.
Oh.
There are checkpoints in the dungeon too.
I died again. And that was a pretty bad point to die, actually.
Oh, Zheal, no.
I didn't even know that can hit you there, if you're all the way on the right side.
So this is where we find Sam, and he gives us our memory returner note. Now we're going to death abuse again to get out of the dungeon. So the top runners will actually take damage along the way.
Yeah, I took too much.
Gotta be careful. I almost went back into Diamond Mine. So when you're in the map, when you have the option to choose a destination, there's actually about a second worth of time before the option appears on the screen that you can choose your destination. So you can save a little bit of time by choosing it before it appears on the screen. Thanks, Black Sliver. Thanks for telling all my secrets. So we play this melody. Lance's memory returns, and everybody gets a little nostalgic and a little homesick.
I actually think the original name of the Dark Friar is just with an E instead of an A. Like a deep fryer.
So we're off to Neil's cottage. Neil is Luke's cousin, an inventor. We need him to help us get to the next dungeon. So to progress the story, you need to interact with 4 of his inventions. That was pretty slow on my end. Might get some time back on me, Zheal.
Yeah, it's a real hard cottage. Very cheesy.
Yeah, the tank and the wings. I feel like the detection boxes for those are a little weird. So sometimes you might talk to one thinking you're talking to the other, and it doesn't progress the story when you talk to Neil again.
So, and now
You thought
we're
this-
on... Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You start.
Well, I'll just say we find this lonely little moon tribesman at the bottom of the desert. Yeah, and Zheal's about to say we're on our way to the desert, the
Yeah,
Nazca
it's-
Plains.
It's the famous Nazca lines. Like, the real nice thing about this game is you will see a lot of historical
that are
places. Cool.
Yeah, that death wasn't as punishing as you thought it was.
It was 40 seconds.
I think you were 8 seconds ahead of me before that happened.
Yeah, it was 40
think.
seconds. The death. But it's fine.
Now
You
we're in
will
the
die
Sky
later.
Garden. Yeah, we'll die plenty, don't worry. The decision made was to not go for the safety strat.
Yeah,
in this
normally you
run.
can
Safety
loot.
strat,
Yeah, normally you can loot 5, I think, right?
5 red jewels.
Yeah, red jewels, so you can get a third herb, a defense upgrade, and a HP upgrade from the jewel vendor.
Just an herb and a defense upgrade. No
Was it
HP
just
upgrade.
defense? No, it's no HP. Wow.
Yeah. Take it from someone who actually has ran the safety strat like a
Yeah,
chicken.
I never did it.
Sky Gardens is not best dungeon. Sky Gardens ruins runs.
Yeah, especially room 2 and room 4.
Room 2 and 4 are just the worst. I'm telling you, Zheal, don't even mess with that red robot in room 2.
No, I'm using the worms.
Of course we use the worms.
I stopped messing with that robot.
No, it's not my favorite stage.
Oh, it's a really cool dungeon. It's not my favorite dungeon, but I like it.
When the execution goes well for the runner, these stages are very pretty to watch as a speed run.
Mount Mushroom, yeah, Mount Crest, or Mountain Temple. One of the easier dungeons in the speedrun, since we freshly got our upgrades from Sandflinger there.
That feeling when you're only missing 4 HP, and he still drops an HP orb, and the red snake knocks you into the HP orb. So yeah, in this game, as you can see, sometimes you don't want to heal. It really slows you down. Oop, hang on. So another little sequence break here. It really only saves about 2 to 3 seconds. Oh, don't do this again.
You mean the sequence break in room 3? That saves a lot of time.
Yes. It's not that much time.
We skip all of room 3 with that. That saves a lot. You normally have to go through the dark side of the room as well, and it's a little labyrinth, and you have to kill specific enemies, I think, to get rid
Well,
of,
we'll have to take it up with
of the
Crawl.
barricades.
I was assuming it was... Oh, I messed that up. I was told it was about 2 to 3 seconds, but I'll take your word for it. I need to get rid of my timer. It's making me sad.
Oh, you mean the sequence break with Frieden?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you mean the sequence break to jump up the ledges to the
What are
crystal
you
ball.
sitting there? This guy's an idiot. What's he talking about?
Yeah, the one with Frieden doesn't save that much. But the way we get to crystal ball in room 3 saves a lot.
That was scary. I tell you, Zheal, I'm not having a good Sky Gardens.
Oh, it's fine for me so far. Bit sloppy maybe, but it's okay.
So I'm gonna try to do this damage boost. I have the HP for it, but hopefully this blue robot doesn't ruin my day. Oof. So usually you have to kill that sword, drag that statue out of the way, and then walk around to the treasure chest. But you can get the sword to damage boost you down around the ledge without jumping off. You get that crystal ball quicker. Now it's time for the second boss fight, Viper.
Let's go, Solar. 2 seconds.
Is that such a thing?
Yeah, of course. On the second dive, he can die.
You're crazy. You gotta fight.
I played it a bit safe. Don't want to die again.
Good fight. I apologize everyone in the chat right now. We're in the second half of the game just about, so if things get a little hairy, you might hear me shriek.
It's funny actually, like, there was a little cutscene now where Will falls down and Neil catches him with the plane. Early on practice, my sister was watching, and she was watching that cutscene and asked me, can Will actually hit the, like, can he actually hit the ground and die? And I say, no, it's a cutscene.
So this is Seaside Palace. It's more than anything a maze for new runners. You don't take damage, you just have to kind of get around to find a purification stone to cleanse the water in the basement and restore everyone to their non-ghostly state. But you skip all of that because we're in a speed run. You skip seeing everybody freaked out. But the dungeon after this is the absolute bane of my existence.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard one, and a very long dungeon with the hardest boss in the game right after.
Yeah.
It's a pretty brutal segment. So in story-wise, this is the palace of a vampire couple. They lure people, like the male vampire lures females, and the female lures male victims to the Undersea Palace to use them as labor workers.
Zheal with the dark lore. So the only thing that really slows you down to speedrun, besides going the wrong direction like I did for a second there, are the NPCs. If they have the kind of RNG to block your way when you're sprinting and you don't react in time, it can make you lose a little bit of time. Ba-da-da.
So now that we purged the cursed fountain in the basement, every monster, like every person here who were turned into a monster, returned to be normal. And one of those nice guys gives us the key. He said he stole it from the female vampire.
Now, what's special about this key is that the hitbox for this keyhole right here is impossible. At least for some runners, when you're trying to sprint to it and hit it on the first try, you might miss it. A small thing, but enraging in its little format.
Yeah, it's a bit iffy.
Alright, so here's Mew. And I wish us both luck, Zheal. I'll get a little quiet because I don't want anything bad to happen. You hate to see that happen. That wizard physics right there.
So, and we found the first. What's the name? You found
Statue of
the wow, spoilers. Statue of Hope. I wonder if there was another room with the same name.
Oof, if you're there, I am playing sloppy. So Zheal is currently 3rd place in any percent. Recently obtained. He's been just going insane on this game recently, preparing for this marathon. I'm currently 7th place. We're gonna hopefully keep it a good race all the way through.
Oh, I'm not so far behind you anymore. Just the room, basically. That room is not named Statue of Hope. He's right. Game is lying.
Oh, that was not worth it. Ooh. I really botched up that second section there.
I love it when with ropes spawn in your face. Best feeling.
So I have enough HP and my damage boost through that slime to beat that. If you had low HP in a speedrun, you would kill that slime first.
Da, 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 da.
And this is where we get.
I don't know if they're
Will's
really
second
called with
power-up.
ropes. I think it was Hulk starting calling them that way.
So we're pretty much on top.
Psycho Slider cannot be used. Only Young Will can use the Psycho Slider. You can now use the sliding attack to pass through small passageways. Push the attack button when running. Zheal died twice. Already. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Game hates
Come
me.
on. I hate me. It's bad. Alright, no, come on. No wizards. Alright, the most useful feature outside of swag for the guard dash is this spring right here. How I kept moving and drawing it to me. I don't know if we actually talked about guard dash.
No, I don't
Guard
think so.
dash is sprinting, using Will's flute to guard an attack.
Yeah, normally you can draw specific objects towards you with your
But
flute.
if you do a quick input sequence of double tapping a direction to sprint, letting go, guarding, and then retouching the direction you were sprinting, you'll be able to sprint while guard dashing, which is useful for drawing stuff to you and also continuing to sprint. So we Death of Abuse there to get back to the beginning of the dungeon, to turn it into second Statue of Hope.
Another room with the statue name? Wow. Two.
I
What
always
a
get a very
coincidence.
Chrono Trigger Magus feeling from this room.
Oh, because it's so dark with the flames, yeah. But I think in Magus room they're blue, right?
Yes. Technically, yes. Now, I like to run to the left side of this guy. There's been times in runs where he will walk to the right before I can attack him as a safety measure. Alright, so we're going to be showing a neat little feature with the game of invincibility for a single room. That's coming up in this next screen. So if you break the Psycho Slider animation by opening a treasure chest, or a jump attack by doing the same, you'll actually gain invincibility for this specific screen.
But it has to be a chest of a key item, like the hymn has to play. Does not work on every chest.
Ah, well, I did not know that. So I can run through this blue slime and not take damage. And this is important because we want as much HP as we can get before we go to the vampires, the boss for this dungeon.
Nice. Thank you, Wizrobe. That's -3.
So we do it here for this statue also. And now there's really just 2 rooms left where we can take damage before the vampires. Now, a person of sound mind might go down to this dark space right here and save. But why? Why bother with it? It's just a vampire fight, right?
Right.
So we put the 2 statues in. That lets us meet Ra. We have a few spirits to talk to. And we get the Mystic Statue before we actually fight the boss. Why we don't just walk around this room, I have no idea. But here we are. Little swag into the room and wish us luck, everyone. Back. Come on.
Ouch.
Come here.
$93. Not bad.
$85, pretty bad. But we're through. Yeah, so that specific fight, obviously skill does play a part, but you can also kind of make or break some of your PB depending on how quickly that goes. Ideally, the vampires overlap a little bit when you're trying to kill them. And also, ideally, they get off as little of the giant orb attacks as possible. I didn't see Zheal. How many herbs did you end up using?
1. You?
Both of them.
Really? Oh, damn. I hate having not a single herb after vampires, because I know I will only have 1 herb in the pyramids.
Hey, it's just motivation, right?
Absolutely.
I like how you're saying, Solar, I hate the position you're in right now. I would not want to be you.
That's basically what I said, didn't I? Oh, it's fine, Solar. You can loot the one in Great Wall, right? And lose like 7 seconds.
Why would I? Zheal, I've got a secret. It's been a while since I played the game casually. I don't know where it's at. So we skip it.
What did we skip?
The herb.
Oh, you don't know where it is. Like, do you know the big slide where we do the sequence break? By psycho sliding? It's right before the slide.
Nah, I don't want to worry about it.
But maybe I'm lying.
Maybe you're trying to get in my head. Alright, Angel Village is an interesting little dungeon. It's not really difficult.
No, I think he's pretty difficult, actually.
But if you take
But
damage
it's for
here,
me.
it makes a weary situation for the Great Wall, at least for me.
Like, a perfect Angel Village is pretty difficult, I think. Especially the second room. Yeah.
Well, then obviously I just jinxed myself.
Nice. So there is a little safety I took. When you kill both of these guys here, they give you a max HP drop, which also refills your HP completely to full.
Thanks for taking that safety. I needed that.
I got hit twice by skeletons.
Okay.
I had half HP or so.
Smart move. No sense in risking anything in the Great Wall.
Rather I do this than heal in the Great Wall. Or die.
So 4 rooms, 4 tests. Can you spot what's different?
You don't have too much time though.
Get our last herb for the game.
You found the magic dust. So story-wise, why we're here actually is after we escaped Mu, we found ourselves in the Angel Village, and Kara took off to investigate the place, but suddenly she disappeared and ended up being a portrait suddenly. And the artist said he will release her if we can solve his riddles. So we did that, and he actually painted himself into a portrait meanwhile. But he left us the magic dust, so we can release Kara from her despair, and now we can move on.
Hey, a green split. It's been a while since I've seen one of those.
Yeah, I lost 4 seconds. I should save 3 in Angel Village. But it's fine.
The big difference maker in this run is coming up in the Great Wall. We might both get 3 egg cycles from Sandfanger, or I might get 1, I might get 6, and then I'm just gonna female dog for the rest of the run.
Yeah, the last boss is a giant worm, and we're not dealing too much damage, and the boss takes a lot of time, especially because his cycles are very long and you can only get 2 hits in per cycle. But when he sticks his head out of the ground and spits eggs, he's staying off the ground for quite a while, and you can get in quite a few hits. So you want to have as many egg cycles as possible. And they can make a huge difference, unfortunately.
So fun little fact for me here, when we're talking to Lance and his father, there's a secret little boss right here called the ladder getting back out. So sometimes when you try to leave this ladder, you go straight down like that just happened. But other times, the game just does not detect that you're on that ladder and will throw you around the edge of the exit way. It's the little things.
You want to sing Bowie's song?
I actually don't know Bowie's song.
You don't know it? Okay, let me
No.
think. I sang it yesterday, actually. It's Lily's birthday, so you know. And Kara puts out the cake out of the shelf there. And Bowie made a song out of that. And it's like that. Happy birthday, blue-haired girl. Here you have a cake from a shelf. Now we found in it. No, wait. Here you have. No, wait. Here's some cake. Oh yeah, here's some cake we found on the shelf. We don't know how long it's been there. Do not try the frosting.
Kind of sad I didn't know that song. Alright, on our way to the Great Wall.
Shoutouts to Bowie.
I'm surprised the chat in here didn't try to spell out the whole yak text box. I know Bowie's chat tries to do that. So these first couple rooms, we're going to be doing a little iframe dashing to get through the guards. The enemies here don't do a horrible amount of damage.
Now, if you touch one of those archers, that's pretty.
The archers themselves might be, but
Yeah.
the real damage comes from Sandfanger. So you want to have as much HP as possible, just in case things get out of hand. That was the slowest iframe walk I've ever done, but it worked.
Yeah, Bo was supposed to do commentary with us, but he's not at home right now. So he apologizes himself.
Yeah. You sent us individual messages, so heart goes out. So we're going to take intentional damage here to get through this snake. So we got the HP to burn.
Oh, I barely made that cycle. Ooh.
Oh, I made it too. Holy crap.
So now we're doing a big sequence break here. Normally you have to jump through all those pipe ramps and turn into Frieden at the end. Go back and do all that what we just did. Oh, that was not good. And finally. Oh wait, how was it?
We need Friedan to hit a certain switch that opens
Oh
the
no,
way.
we have to kill the bow, the archer, of course, with Frieden eventually.
Oh, right. My head's in a different spot of the dungeon.
That's why we need him in the first place. Because right after he kills the archer for us, we dump him. Oh yeah, you're supposed to get spin dash first, right? Oh yeah, of course, because you're doing it here, yeah. We're doing that a bit out of order.
Look at us not remembering how to play the game casually. So here's where we get the spin dash.
Spin dash can now be used. Only young Will can use the spin dash. Spin your body to send enemies flying and use the recoil to climb hills.
So to charge a spin dash, you have to be flashing like you would do a psycho, or yes, spin dash. You have to be flashing like you would do a psycho dash, but then
It's
start
the aura
alternating
power.
taps of L and R. And the thing you have to be careful of is if you start doing that while you're moving, you'll break what's going on, which will set you back in the speed run.
It was not a really great wall.
I
Not
wish you
so
luck on
great wall.
Sandfanger.
You too.
Well, so far nothing. I see an egg cycle for you.
2 already.
Oh my gosh. Come on, give me something.
The problem is my timing on hits. So. Nice, done.
Still
3x.
nothing.
But my timing on hits is pretty bad since I have to listen to my delayed audio capture. I cannot listen to my CRT right now.
Wow.
And that's pretty confusing when mashing hits, or like when timing hits.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I even saved 5 seconds from ABB there.
This is happening.
I die for you in pyramids. Not a single egg, really?
No. Oh man. Yeah, Zheal's way ahead right now, Axel. Not much I can do about it. I'm gonna stand over here.
Didn't you have 0 egg Sandfang already like yesterday or so?
1 egg here, 0 at table. Oh my gosh. Can I go 0?
Wow, this is really sad to watch.
It ended right on the. I guess we can count that as an egg cycle, right?
Well, you got 1 egg, not so bad.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm at least a full minute behind. Oh, a minute and a half almost behind now. Well, I'm gonna hope you make good on your promise for the pyramid. Maybe twice. Well, the sad thing is not that happened for this race. The sad thing is that kind of hurts my chances for PB now. You're right, Colin. Maybe I should just spend the rest of this race trying to find credits warp.
So now another dark thing. We are playing here Russian glass. Like this town is a little bit of a gambling town. They have drinking contests, and they have a big gamble town, big gamble hall where they where they do drinking games and bet money on it. But you can also illegally, I guess, bet your life on it in the evening on illegal Russian glass games. And there is the champion we challenge, and we have psychic powers, so we know what is the poison glass. And well, even if we drink the poison glass, well, we have the option to do it. We just respawn, can try again, so that's a bit unfair. But it's fine because he says he will not be disgraced, and even though there is only the poison glass left, he downs it with 1 shot. And in his testament, he gives us his 5 beloved crux, I think, is the name. Like they're like camels, a bit, or like a combination of camels and kangaroos.
Oh, Hulk, thank you so much for doing the statistics. 0.4% chance of that happening. I feel so much better now.
Oh, 0.4% is actually not so bad. I thought it would be much
Oh
lower.
my gosh, Zheal, don't make this right for me. Let
you
me
wanna-
deal with it the way I want to.
You want to talk about blue balls in A Link to the Past? Oops.
Yeah, Zheal, I'm gonna need you to forget the charge spin dash again. If you could please. Oh.
So, and now we enter the Mountain Temple. Which is basically just a very big labyrinth. And super confusing casually. Yes, this one is horrible.
It really is.
Luckily in the wow, I didn't make that. Luckily in the speedrun, we just killed Sandfanger, so we have all the neat little upgrades we missed until here. And that's right the next dungeon. So we're actually pretty buffed right now, and we have exactly the power-ups we would have in a casual run almost. So dying is not really an option here. It's all about movement and not getting lost.
For the ones that want to speedrun this game, this is where you start with choosing the right destination instead of the down destination. Whenever you leave an area, everything up to here, you choose down and then select. But here's where you start choosing right and select.
Oh really? I heard on Pyramid you press down, don't you?
Wow, you were just kicking a man while he's down, huh?
Angkor Wat is the one you like, yes. It's my favorite dungeon, the next one, Angkor Wat.
Why?
It's a really good one. Because it's so much fun to run through.
Think of the flies, Zheal. Think of the flies.
They're nice. They never bother me. And I never die to it. Never.
Thank you for jinxing yourself. Did you talk about the invincibility here too?
It's the same invincibility.
Okay, it's the same. We talked about it.
Like for those who did not, oops, wow, spiders please, who did not catch it, when we use a jump attack or a psycho slider onto a chest with a key item, we get unlimited invincible frames for the rest of the room until we hit a screen transition. And we use that on 2 out of 3 chests with mushroom drops here. So we can leave the room unscathed and without any problems. Oops.
So on this screen that I'm on, I don't really know where Zheal's at. We can see a little bit of lag, maybe. It really depends on how many of these fairy demons spawn on the screen at once. Not bad at all. We got 2 and 2, so there was basically no lag there.
And now we got the teapot. So this is also a pretty dark story, like back then when the husbands went to war. The I don't know if the widows, like when the husbands die, or like just the mourning because the husbands gone to war, they cried, and those tears were collected in those teapots, so they have mystical powers. And we actually don't even know why we collected. Like there are two guys, Revsky and another one, who tells us that exactly that, and that we should collect it, and well, we do.
Oh my gosh, the lag is real.
On the spiders, yeah.
Yeah.
So now we learn that Neil's parents, he was so happy to see again after 2 years, 3 years, are actually just members of the Moon tribe, which replaced the parents after they died, and the parents were thrown below the mountain temple. I think it's pretty dark.
You're depressing the heck out of me.
And the teapot reveals exactly that. Also, the company that is led by Neil's parents, Rolek, is also responsible for the slave trading in Freya and basically on the whole world. But Neil wants to change that. He wants to invest into Pepper. Like, he's an inventor. He could marketing his inventions, but no, he's into Pepper. So he's selling Pepper. So another thing where we could a bit of pepper and salt is the next bonfire we have here.
No, I better not see any emotes in chat. You'll break my heart.
Also, the next pretty dark part.
Oh,
In this
CC,
version,
Rogers.
in this version of the game, this native village here, the tribe that is living here, they suffer from starvation, and all the skeletons you see around here, they starve to death. In the original Japanese version, though, they're cannibals, and they ate their bodies to live.
Didn't need to know that.
And rip. There he goes. F for Hamlet.
Like it's nothing. Sigh, no. Hide or no. Come on, funeral. Poor Hamlet. Last poor Hamlet.
Ooh, it was a gold. By a second. And now anchor what?
Were your two villagers still dancing around Hamlet?
Yeah.
So maybe Hulk can explain why, but sometimes, I don't know if it's mashing fast enough or what, but usually all the villagers are supposed to just kind of back away from the fire when Hamlet jumps in. For some reason, sometimes these two that are dancing around the fire still continue to dance around the burning pig. It's kind of dark.
I think it's just a graphical glitch. And the garden. So the garden is the most dangerous part of Angkor Wat, because you have those randomly flying around mosquitoes. Or like bugs, flies, whatever. Creatures from hell. And they deal a whopping 6 damage, I think. So if you're a bit unlucky and you get hit a few times, it can happen to be quite dangerous later.
Can't remember the last time I didn't take damage at that first section. Cool. He says before he loses it all.
So now we do a nice little sequence break. I explained it after I did it. So normally you have to go to the right side and hit me. And learn a new skill for Frieden, Earthquaker. That way you can jump from a platform and ram your sword into the ground, which is stunning all the enemies in the near proximity, I think. So
Yes,
you have to stun that stone golem, and so you can walk past, because normally he's not killable while he's spinning, and you have to stun him to walk past him. But with smart usage of the Dark Friar, we can skip that and kill him while he's still standing around.
I think this is the last time we actually see Friedan.
Oh, really? So that cutscene here at the inner sanctum of Angkor Wat is a little bit glitched out, because we perform a little glitch, or like a little skip. I don't know if it's a feature or a bug, but normally when you walk on the world map and you reach a new destination, the camera zooms out a bit and then zooms into the new spot. But while holding start, probably an oversight, yeah. While holding start, you can skip that zooming and jump into the dungeon right away. But when you do that, that cutscene gets a bit messed up.
Shoot.
Da 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 da.
I hate to take damage there. How many egg cycles did you get, Zheal?
3.
Okay. Nice, good average.
Nice. Decent Angkor Wat. Pretty sweet.
They already ate Hamlet. I can see it on your screen. Vultures.
So now we're reaching the desert village of Dao, but we won't stay for long because we don't have to do much just to unlock the dungeon. We have to talk with Neil here, and we're already good to go. And now starts the hardest and longest dungeon in the game, the pyramids. You have to use Shadow for 3 rooms and Will for 3.
Spoiler alert, they don't know who Shadow is, Zheal.
Yeah, so now we get the aura. The aura doesn't do much for Will or Freedom, but if used with Shadow, and Shadow is like in Angkor Wat, like Gaia tells you here that Will's power increased in Angkor Wat, so he can now access the power of the comet's light and turn into a creature that consists of the light of the comet, Shadow. And with using the aura, he can become liquid and unveil the secrets of the pyramids.
Good luck, Zheal. Room 3 is yours.
Thank you. I'll manage, hopefully. Ay. That was already... I hate that pattern.
I gotta stop watching your stream and just look at my own screen. Alright, choose the right destination so Zheal won't laugh at me anymore.
No, it's my own strat. It's a lot safer. And it's consistent.
Alright.
And now the Killer 6. Arguably the hardest moment in the game. We managed.
A little unlucky there for me. Come on, be nice. Thank you. Alright, only one hit getting through the first area. I'll take that.
It doesn't change anything to wait. Like if you switch tiles at the right moment, it's the same as waiting, almost.
I goofed up. I goofed up bad. Oh, you can't stop Zheal Hulk. He is not in a race same frame of mind.
It was good. Good room too.
Oh my gosh, I can only take one hit.
The quick laser, you cannot get it because, like, you know that moment when the laser reaches the edge of the screen and despawns. At exactly that moment, I switched to the bottom tile, so the laser on the top cannot hit me anymore.
Well, at least both of us didn't die on Killer 6. I don't have an herb, and I don't want to be super risky. So I'm actually going to heal here.
I also healed. I got hit very badly there. And I have to do one more RNG dive. Which is usually not a problem, but hey, not risking it here.
He says.
Yeah, didn't get hit. Usually you don't get hit there. It's pretty rare. I'm pretty decent shadow part of the pyramids.
I'm being a little sloppy, a little slow. Making sure we keep this a close race. Not let you get too far ahead. And hopefully I get hit so I didn't heal for nothing.
Whew.
Good, I got hit.
Okay, nice. Well, that's okay.
Wow, you were the first one to start going nuts.
Yeah, I was so greedy. I don't know why I always go so far to the left there.
Huh. Well, looks like I didn't have to heal. Isn't that how it usually goes?
There is another death orb here. Yeah. My HP are fine. For now. But yeah, usually if you get only hit once by one of those orbs, you can still survive a Mummy Queen attack. Doesn't really matter. So one more stone to collect.
Alright, so pretty bad Sandfanger RNG, which means Mummy Queen's gonna be gentle to me, right?
And that was the pyramids. Very nice. Now just a nice Mummy Queen.
Oh my gosh, what the
All
heck
we
happened
need.
in
Oh no. Oh, this is
there?
Solar.
Oh, you're
Don't do
killing
that.
me.
Don't die here.
That's unfortunate.
Oh no.
Forgot
Oh.
about that. Yeah.
Well, it is only wool room at least, right?
Yeah. Not too bad. That's what you're supposed to do.
So we just had a roasted pig. Now we get a roasted jackal. Da-la-lam, da-la-lam, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Talk about Dark Fry. Kara, Kara, take my hand.
I'm sorry, Fikun. I tried to keep it alive.
Okay.
Now I'm rushing.
So, and now we solved the riddle of the pyramids, and we transform back into shadow. So we can enter the inner sanctum, where the Mummy Queen herself awaits us. And really, let me tell you guys, this boss looks really easy, actually, from just watching it, but it's a really brutal boss. Got good story in RNG at least. Nice, got it. 2 bad cycles, I think, or 3. I take
bad
it.
cycles for you. Good job.
But it was nicely executed. Not bad. Damage-less also. But I lost 7 seconds. That's unfortunate. And now to the last dungeon, which is basically a boss rush. And also pretty RNG heavy. Like this is probably the biggest RNG part aside Sandfanger in the whole speedrun.
Come on, Babel. Give me a chance against Zheal.
I have to make time good. I died twice. This could have been like, if I get a good Babel now, this could have been PB without a death. I lost like 20 seconds or a bit more
Where's my mommy queen?
to the Moontrap challenge and 40 seconds to Diamond Mines.
I got bad starting RNG. That's a good sign, right?
Oh, you have, oh damn, you have bricks. The brick start is mean.
So Zia, how far are you gonna push this game?
You mean my end goal?
Mm-hmm.
I got my goal. Sub 2.
You got your goal? Oh, okay. For those still interested in watching these runs, I'll still be streaming after this. My end goal, at least for the short term, was a sub 202 PB.
You have the crystal ring. Exactly, Fantasy Freak. Exactly.
Oh, thank you, game. That death didn't actually cost me that much time just because I got a perfect mummy queen fight. Minus the beginning RNG.
Yeah, I feel like always, when she starts with bricks, you get a perfect second phase at least. At least that stays true for me.
Do you have any herbs left?
1, yes.
One cool little thing, which we had a good chance to show off in Sky Garden, but we have another little opportunity here to show it off, is that the parachuting sprites aren't individual characters. And Hulk, you can correct me on this, or maybe even Zeo. They're either linked, or they are the same sprite, just put on the screen.
Yeah, I think they're all just will.
They're all just the will sprite, so you can actually charge in these little cutscenes with parachute. So you can see I'm flashing here, and then the other parachute, which is supposed to be Kara following you, was also flashing.
I always forget this room. Unbelievable. So now we have to refight against the vampires. Also not very nice, because now they actually have hitboxes. Like in the normal fight, they when you touch them, you touch nothing. Actually, only the only thing that can damage you are the fireball shields. Here they actually have hitboxes. When you run into them, you will take damage.
This is when Solar realizes he still has the herb in his inventory. and hates himself. He hates himself so much.
Oh shit. Yeah, not so bad.
Alright, my first cast off. Pretty good fight, Zheal. Alright, what are you gonna give me, Castle 2.0?
These vampires suck. They do indeed. Literally. So the refight of the Sandfang is also not much better than the original. The good thing is that we deal 3 damage now instead of only 1.
Give him 0.
No, I
Give
got
him
1.
0 X cycles.
I got 1 full.
Ah,
Decent fight.
good job.
But the last hit was pretty clutch, I think. And
So high
now we
spirit
have
Go ahead.
now we have the refight of the Mummy Queen, which is weird because we just fought her, and there is really not much different. Like the only difference really in that fight, we have the same. We have to, like casually we would even have the same power ups at this point. The really only difference is that the arena is a bit different. That the altar in the center is gone, which is for the fight.
Nice.
For
It's a little
the,
easier.
yeah, for the speedrun, for the fight, it makes the fight a lot easier because you have a lot of more room to maneuver. No, no. Oh, whoa, no bricks, please.
Oh, I didn't even do it. Come here. Come here. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'm having a time, Zheal.
A good one?
No. Recently, when I've been running it, I've been having a hard time. Just barely press Y before B. Really messed up my black-haired vampire. All right, Sandfanger. Is there any chance of redemption for what you did to me in Great?
Oh, I really have not... But I can do the swag kill. And she's dead. There was like 4 bad cycles, I think. Pretty unlucky fight.
It's starting scary again. Holy crap, that's what an egg cycle looks like? Thank you.
Na na na.
Oh, you got 4? Sorry. Yeah, we finally got some eggs, guys. Alright, Mummy Queen, you were nice in the pyramid. Be nice here.
Yeah, this can still be a mid to high 2 flat. Apparently. Depends on Dark Gaia.
Oh, you jerk.
His dad is literally named Old Man, yes. They were pretty
I'm
creative with the game.
Off cycle right now. I'm gonna get back on cycle. Oh, really? Oh, scary. There we go.
Watching Solarcell struggle there makes me a bit happy.
Wow. Oh, Zheal's the worst, guys. Yeah. You're seeing his real character come out right now. No.
So
It's kind of community the Gaia community is. We just a good time ragging on each other.
So Will and Kara fuse now to awake Shadow once again, and all 6 mystic statues are combined now to unleash or unlock the most powerful ability in the game, like in the universe, probably the Firebird. And now we can shoot phoenixes, or like firebirds, from our attacks. And good music, guys.
So yeah, high spirits. You can thank Zheal for the 2-hour 10-minute estimate.
Yeah, I made the estimate when I did not even learn the run. So I thought maybe I'm not ready for that load.
Assuming Zeal's gonna call time on the last hit on Gaia for his split.
Oh, we both have the same one, I think.
Oh, you took my estimate originally. Okay.
Man, it was a 4. So that guy here can be a 3 or 4 cycle. It depends on how many hits you get in. You need a total of 14 hits to kill that guy. And if you have 2 cycles with each 5 hits, I think it was 5.
Yes.
You can 3 cycle her. No, I mean my attack here.
Now, the issue with that, because you can kind of sync up in a good rate of attacking, but sometimes you actually see one of your Firebirds not do damage to Dark Gaia. I think it can also happen on the second cast.
Nice, 3 cycle. And gold, sweet. 20036.
Oh,
GG.
of course it is. What was your time? Sorry, I talked over you.
36. 036.
Very good run, Zero. Congrats. Hey, at least we finished.
Nice finish.
Basically on the same final fight, right?
We're on the same final fight, that's true. You're not so far behind me. Thanks for the GGs, guys. Yeah, I'm pretty happy for 2 deaths. Like, I died at the very end of Diamond Mines right after I picked up the key. And on once on the Moontribe challenge. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Now, some people like to use the aura to dodge these rains, but not me. Even in a race setting. Gotta go risky.
Even with only 11 HP.
Ah, what's 11? It's a number.
You cannot even tank a laser from that guy. Deals 12 damage.
See, I didn't even know that, Zheal.
Oh, my sound of best is a low 57 now. 5708. So my sound of best is... oh no, never mind. Yeah, of course. I want to say my sound of best is finally sub world record, but that's a minute and 2 seconds.
Oh, Zheal, you gotta hush for a second. I couldn't hear my hits over your voice. Sorry.
So yeah, for those who do not know, like I did a 2 hours 030 and 2 hours and 36 seconds basically. The world record is a 1 hour 58 and 10 seconds by Le Hulk. It's a crazy run with crazy RNG, and it's a really good time. Oh wow, Solar, you know you have 3 HP, right?
I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh no, really?
Ah, that's my own fault. I got cocky at the end.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, it's a quick refight. Full HP.
Don't be too modest, Hulk. It's nicely executed and it's lucky. It's both.
So if you're doing this run and you're low on HP in the actual speed run, you want to die on the comet as soon as you get here instead of healing at Gaia, because when you die, like you just saw, you stay on the comet, and it's a whole lot quicker than actually going into the dark space to heal.
Imagine you would spawn at the bottom of the Tower of Babel. That would be awesome.
If I had spawned back at the Babel, I would have called the run right there. Obviously, Sliver. Alright.
Hulk is a speedrun machine, he really is. But there are a lot of really good runners in this game, like Bowie is second place with a 59.16, which is also an extremely good time.
We got 5 hits on the first cycle.
And there are a lot of very dedicated runners, like Verolix is a runner with big potential still. Solarcell here.
You better mention me.
Fikun, very dedicated runner who tries to improve herself all the time.
Alright, so this will be a 3 cycle. Damageless, of course. Time.
GG.
And there you go, Illusion of Gaia.
So only 5 minutes apart? Not so bad, huh?
205.20 for me, yeah. Overall, I think we did it justice, Zheal. What do you think?
Excuse me?
I think we did it justice. Showcased the game pretty well.
I hope so.
Yeah, but thank you everyone for watching. I'm sure you're enjoying the credits music right now. It's a great soundtrack for the game.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sola, for racing me. It was a lot of
Yes,
fun.
it's been great, Zheal. So yeah, please, if you guys are watching, you want to see more of this game, shoot Zheal a follow, shoot myself a follow. I don't know if Zheal will be streaming any more of Gaia in the near future. It seems like he said, but I
yeah,
will
of
be,
course,
so,
of course. Like I will focus now on Final Fantasy 7 a bit, but
okay.
still, if a run
Well,
dies, IOG.
We'd love to have you guys in our stream, so yeah, feel free to send a follow over. Thanks for having us. Questing for Glory too. Good luck with the rest of the marathon.
So what are we doing with the 5 minutes we still have?
Oh, I guess we do have 5 minutes.
We were so
I feel
fast. No, I honestly I thought it's over. After at the latest after my death in Diamond Mines, I thought I will not be able to make a comeback.
I was so happy when you died.
So, and I'm the one that is mean, right? Now he's
Besides
unveiling
that,
his true character.
I'm looking at my
He was
splits, and the
so
only green I
happy, he
have
said.
is the first split. No, but I mean, at least we get to show off what can happen in this run. Not even in the race, if you're going for a PB. So I had 0 egg cycles basically on the first Sandfanger fight, and Zheal had 3. I think Hulk had 5 or 6 in his world record, right?
5, I think, yeah.
5.
And 5 is already really crazy.
It's really crazy, and he didn't have too many of the cycles where the Sandfanger jumped straight up in the air and then right back down, which is the slowest one.
I didn't do too many runs to judge that, but I think average is about 2 to 3. I think usually get 2 to 3.
Yeah, they told
More
me
like 3. Yeah.
way back when I started. But so like the top runners, you can get a 2 flat with great execution, but sometimes you do have to rely on a little bit of RNG as far as Sandfanger, Vampires a little bit, and then the Mummy Queen.
Okay, well, I think we're done here, are we?
I think you're just tired and want to go to bed.
Do we have
it's
to?
Well,
No, I'm still fine. You want to do another run? We can do another one.
We should have been
Right?
prepared and done a Gems Mansion run, but
Salty
we weren't ready for
rerun.
that.
Let's go. We both died. We have to make it.
Yeah. All right, High Spirits, we're taking over the stream. We're going another run.
So I don't know, High Spirits. Do you want to let the credits play out? Because they're pretty long, actually. They're really, really long.
Yes, a magic button.
You can wrap it up. Okay, guys,
right.
thank you so much for the opportunity to run against my good colleague Solarcell007 here.
Thank you.
It
very
was an
much,
honor.
for the run. I had a lot of fun with it.
Thank you guys for staying with us with this run. It's a great game. I hope you
We'd love
liked
to see
it.
more runners for it.
Absolutely. Go run this game.
All right, have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night, guys.